Hello, hello, friends. It's me, Cynthia, and here's Marty, and Azalea's behind the screen.
Hi.
And we are Greengirlstudios, and this is our Sunday edition of Magic Hour. Welcome, friends. We are filming live from Asheville, North Carolina. And I see we have a lot of folks already lined up and ready to go. Who's here? I see a bunch of people. Morphing Designs is here. Nilda's here. I see Debbie is here. Hello, hello, my friends. Thank you for joining us. We have a fun show today. I'm going to talk about some amber. I'm going to talk about shell. I'm going to talk about what else am I going to talk about? I have a couple things. So some of this is, all of this actually, is our Tucson finds, and or some of the stuff we got in Tucson this year. And I'm excited to share it. I'm excited to use it. So, oh, I see Karen is joining us. Hello, hello, my friends. And I see Melanie.
Look how perfect that cat is. Give them another turn. Those paws. That's so good. You can rotate the stool to get every angle.
And I do. He sits here with me. He doesn't work. That's like, this is his hangout. He observes us at the table, watching and observing. So I'm going to let people have a moment to join us in this, and then we'll get to it. But you might have noticed our little earrings. Show yours, Azalea. They're cute. This is mother of pearl. So lovely. Look at this kid. He needs his own set. He's just watching. I want some blue amber. Well, I have some amber. I see Shannon. Hello, Shannon. Hello, Karen. The amber I have is pretty spectacular. I'm not gonna lie. Of course, I wouldn't buy it if it wasn't spectacular. What's going on here? Let's get this adjusted. All right, Marty's so cute. He is so cute. He's the love of our lives. If you're wondering about that little stuffed monkey, well, it kept falling off of my chair. I want to show some of our amber. This is actually when I sent Greg to get me amber, when Max was being born, that's when I didn't go because I stayed home with Max. But when I asked him to get me some amber, good quality amber, he brought me back rough amber.
But it's still good, though.
It's fantastic.
Hey, when we get the Fordham set up, wouldn't that be what you would use to carve
exactly.
that?
This is
so you can
quality.
make your own fancy little amber pieces.
See that sheen? That's top grade Baltic amber. Some comes from Mexico. This comes from Mexico. But this is blue amber. Check it out. Let's see that. So when the sun hits it, you get that kind of sheen to it. It's very subtle, but I should have grabbed, there's a fake piece of amber resin, and it doesn't really do the same thing. Amber is light too, so if you're ever looking and it feels heavy in your hand and you're like, is this amber or not? Amber is really lightweight because it is essentially tree sap that's solidified over millennia. Oh, thank you. Melanie says, beautiful earrings. And D. Lou says, good evening. Oh, and I see our friend Connie. Connie's our neighbor here in town. Hello, Connie. Melanie says, drool. Connie says, Marty is not impressed, but I am. You know what he's impressed by? I'll tell you what he's
That's what
impressed
he's looking
by.
at on the table right now.
Can you guess what he's looking at?
Big.
This. This is what he's looking at. He wants this. He's ready for it. All right, so what I have, I'll show some of this. We'll spread it out. Some of this amber that I bought years and years ago, or Greg got for me when Max was. So how old was he? 16? This is 16 years ago.
How old is he?
How old is my son? Look at this one. There's hardly any. There's very little inclusions in this piece. I was looking around for my optivisors. Although, you might be like, so I see some bubbles. Well, bubbles will form in sap. So, because I've seen bubbles in sap, and I weighed everything and I tested it. There's ways you can test it. Amber floats too. So that's one way. Because sometimes you'll see amber in antique stores, and there was a time in the 80s when they were making like really good fake amber. And what they would do is they would take the offcuts of making beads or pendants or whatever, and then from that chopped amber, like the pieces that you drill, that is then put into a mold, and a product called, it's like Hextol, I can't think the name of it, but it's like a filler that you use. It's like a two-part epoxy. It's a two-part epoxy that they use, like lapidary people will use, so that you can actually, if a piece has an inclusion, there's very few pieces of stone that don't have some small inclusion. And an inclusion, as we know, is kind of like a not a crack necessarily, but like a small place where the stone has grown in such a way where it kind of looks like it's layered and the pieces have met together, and it might be another color. And let me see if I can show you the problem, or you can see a really good illustration of that. I'm just going to go ahead and flip the camera. But first, before we do that, I'm going to give Marty a little bit of this treat. Nelda says, nothing like a loving treat. Oh, Narissa says, pretty. He's like, Mom, you doing taking so long? Opening that. Well, they make these things that are awfully slick. Awfully slick. So what this first batch of things from Tucson is going to be is carved shell, carved amber, and what else did I have that's carved? Everything is carved tonight, I believe. Do I have anything that's not carved? Everything is carved tonight. So we're doing kind of like a little carved exhibition.
Everything is like, almost everything is bee related.
Yeah, almost. Floral, botanical. So it'll be good times. Good times. All right, I'm going to move this over. That got his, I'm morphing, that got his attention. I know. When he sees this, he's like, let's talk. Let's talk. If I give it to him this way, he has a thing where he does like this thing called bite and drag. We call it the bite and drag. So he bites it. Watch how he does. See how he bites? And then he drags it towards his mouth to let the goodie out. But it usually means my hands get really slimy. And I don't want to do that right now, honey. I don't want to do that right now. Marty, you have to, I was just showing an example. That's not, it's like he's totally taking advantage of the scene here. Okay, you need to settle down.
This is big and gritty.
Settle down, my dear. Okay, let's flip this. If you're wondering why I'm like peeking, I'm peeking through all this camera and lighting because everything is sort of set up that way. All right, let's get in here and look around. That looks pretty good. All right.
Do you need a hand?
He looks very judging. Yes, he does look very judging. I'm going to turn this light over here. I'm going to turn this light on. There we go. A little bit of light. That looks a lot better. Okay, so this is some of the amber that... yeah, but I did start it. I was just showing him, and he's like, okay, we're doing it this way then. This is how it's going. This, I haven't taken it out of the bag since I bought it. So you can see the variety of color. This is from Mexico. I already started it. This is the cut. Very flinty in that way. Since this wasn't perfect, this is the one I started with. And this is what I meant by an inclusion. If you weren't sure, it's like this. It's kind of like an inclusion right here. Kind of an inclusion there too. And sometimes that's where, if you think about how sap kind of like rolls down a tree and you get little swirls and bugs and all nature of things, you get different types. Some of it sits on the bottom. I would think this is like bottom part of like where it's like stacked up. If it was like, say, if it was like this, like it would stack up, you get the, I would think the lighter, nicer would be on the very top. Like this. This is probably the higher. Actually, I have all the different grades. You can see it. You can see the grades for yourself. So as you can imagine, here we have A grade. This is A, and that's not hard to see. Triple A is like, let's see, I got some of that in here. The fewer the little things in there, like the nicer it is considered. And this is butterscotch amber. Check these guys out. I don't know why these are in here. I must have been keeping them for some reason. But this is also Baltic amber. I got this many moons ago at probably, I think it was a GJX show. You know that GJX, we barely go in there because we went in there and they were like, the amber was like $8 a gram. And as I set that thing down like it was
Oh, that was
fire.
at Jogs.
Oh, Jogs.
Yeah, we went in there.
The year before we got this, and it was like a third of the price. And then the next year we went back, and it was super expensive. So we didn't buy it that year. And a lot of that has to do with the availability of some of the stone and the rough material. So if you can't get the rough, then it's going to be really hard to, have enough to have like a decent selection. Okay, here's a good example. So this here, that's an inclusion, but sometimes an inclusion is a good thing because it gives it a little bit of a rainbow in there like that. That wouldn't be considered a crack. That's considered, in the gem world, that's an inclusion. It's where maybe two types of different ages of sap came together and bonded right there. It would probably break at that point if I hit it really hard with a hammer. Probably not even that hard. You don't have to hit it hard because it's fragile in a lot of ways, but sturdy enough to last through millennia. So anyway, here's the different grades of amber. We'll put this one as like, it's still nice, really beautiful, dark blue amber. This comes from Mexico. And let me get the light to show it. Let's see that. It's a little bit different quality. Mexican blue. And you can see that it has a little bit of a different look, but let me see how it looks on this stuff is a different kind of look too. Yeah, see the quality of it, it's not as vibrant. It doesn't have as much of a sheen. It still glows a little bit, but the really good quality type stuff you could see has that beautiful highlight, like on the edge. So when you're in the sun, you get that kind of blue haze. It kind of gives it an opaly look. All of this would be fantastic to carve. And I just got a Fordham not that long ago. So I'm going to use that and carve some beautiful things. Now it's like, okay, now I got to separate this back into the bag. Fortunately, I know by looking at it, the color. So I can see and spot, like you can tell the difference, right? See, this is kind of, has a lot of inclusions, although I did buy a really good necklace and I kept it for myself. And it had a lot of inclusions. So finding this is harder now than it used to be. I don't know. I mean, it floats on the sea. I don't know if you knew this, but amber, a lot of times they find it by, and it looks like kind of chewed up. These are all polished, but it's often floating and they get it on the beach and they use it. Sometimes they shine that light, just the way they find Petoskey stones in Lake Superior. So it's pretty cool. We'll leave some of those there so we can look at. Do you want to start with amber tonight, or do you want to start with shell? What should we do? We already got the amber stuff out, so we might as well, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to start this stuff with, let's see. I'm going to spread these out, and we're going to do this by lot sale. We're just going to dive in today because I have quite a few items. Now, I'm starting off with some of the more high ticket items so you can see. So if this is like A grade, right? This color is considered double A or triple A. You know how they do gem grading? Because you're looking at color, transparency, and the amount of inclusions. So I'm going to actually move that out of the way so we can see this without any distractions. Let me look at this one. If you've had your eye, let me make sure this is not doing its thing here. Come on. Why are we doing that?
What's wrong?
Well, sometimes it will focus on the tablecloth or the table instead of the actual thing I'm trying to show. Let's see if I can get closer even. And I did. So this is a really nice, perfect example. I think it's my favorite one. I'm going Showstopper first, y'all. And it's the first one I grabbed. It's my favorite one. I considered keeping this one because my personal ones, I don't have more than one personal one, as you can imagine. Let's get in there even closer. Yeah, there we go. You can see he has all the details. So you can get amber beads. They're not impossible to find. I have one that I got from my friend Jen, and they'll run you about $30-ish. But the quality of the amber is different. They are a deep dark brown. They're really pretty, but they're not this level. This level was made by a single carving group. So what that means is our friend learned to carve in his youth and then taught this workshop his skills. And so that workshop is what you call a closed workshop. They don't take outside work. They're busy doing these carvings for our friend, and they get paid a good wage, and he buys all their equipment, and that means it's a closed setup, meaning you can't go in there and people can't just buy outside of it. You know what I mean? Or like, hey, can you guys do this for me? They don't take that kind of work. They're already busy making these, and they just do such a wonderful, perfect job that I haven't seen anything that competes with it, except for like artisan hand carved that somebody made, and they're selling their one thing for like, well, a couple $100 and up. So this is a lot 612. It's 125. So this first batch, these are our highest ticket items here. And I want to just start with them first. I guess I should have started with the other ones. But they're big. They're beautiful. Look at, I mean. So what I have today is ones I'm willing to part with because I want to make finished jewelry with the rest. So if you've had your eye, this is the time, because I'm going to make necklaces, and I sell my necklaces, and y'all have seen them on my site. You guys have seen them. There's more to come, y'all, more to come. So I have other ones. They're all a little bit different, and none of them are identical because they're all hand carved. Look at this one. And this is the other thing that has never happened. You're probably, now I know some of you have seen these on Etsy. This time I beat that gal. My good friend Terry, I didn't know this, but she's like besties with my friend, and she had the first slot of the day. And so we buy different things. She doesn't have any interest in the bees. She likes the crows. And so I got the first pick of these guys. I usually am there and the smaller ones are left because even though I'm showing up the first day of the show, there are always people that are ahead of me because, you know, that people meet in parking lots and you know, different places. They meet and, you know, they're like, hey, where are you going to be? What do you have? Let's see what you have. I mean, I tried that, but I wasn't on that tier. But now I am, so that was good times for me. This is another, look at this little fatty. Oh my God, this was one of my favorites too. Look how widespread his eyes are. It's so cute. He's a little fatty. And then you look at their little legs. So I've carved amber. And even though it's considered a soft material, it's not easy because you can easily chip a piece off, especially if it's not a perfect smooth piece. Like this is like very few inclusions in there. And his face, look at his face. Gosh, so in love with these guys. I can't even hardly stand it. It's one of the main reasons I go is to find things like this. Okay, I've got another one. I think I have, let me see, how many of these big ones do I have? Not that many. Maybe a couple more. Let me just check. Oh, we're putting them all out. All right. So what doesn't sell tonight, I'm not going to put these on the website, just so you know, whatever does not sell tonight and maybe tomorrow, I'm going to put them on a chain or on a beaded crochet necklace, and I am going to put them on my next show. I have another one coming up, and I got a bunch of these because I'm going to do Honey Fest this year if I get in. I put in my application, and you know, sometimes you don't always get in, but I put in, I'm going to try and get in again. But, you know, I bought the goods thinking I'm going, so hopefully I get in, right?
Yeah.
And if not, there are other shows. There's Summer Big Crafty coming up. So I usually make jewelry with these guys. For the most part, I make finished jewelry. And, you know, the pewter beads that I have on our site, that's the other thing. But a lot of the work that I do that brings me a ton of joy is making amulets and talismans and sharing them with the world. So I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, can you get me some that's not in a necklace, because I want to make my own amulet. And so now's your chance. These are notoriously difficult. And before anyone says, hey, who's your source? That's like, it ain't ever coming out. I swore secrecy a long time ago. And I keep my word, so that's how it goes. My friend was like, I will share with you, but on pain of death. If you share, it's on. All right, this one's a particularly lovely one. Look at those wings. So I actually got, this is so greedy. I got all the wing spread ones. I got all of them. It was a lot, but you know what? That's okay, because I can make jewelry out of them. So that's why you're seeing, usually I only have 2 of the great big ones. And if y'all go right now, go Google it, go do it. See if you can find them. And when you do, go look at the price. Go enjoy that price. All right, so you're going to see, I think I have, of this range, I have, I think, 7. And I'm putting them all out. And then after that, so maybe you can take a look and then you can decide, but it's fine. What I usually do is I make a crochet necklace in black and I match brass beads, or my favorite is butterscotch opal. Butterscotch opal is my favorite thing to put with these because I think they have a good look together. These are the necklaces I wear all the time, my everyday necklaces. And I do a short one to go with this. So with this grouping, and when I'm talking about the butterscotch opal, I mean like this, right in here. That's the opal that I like to use, and this color. So when I make it, I do a really beautiful fine chain out of the crochet, and I'll do like a 22-inch. And then I don't make it super long because I think this should sit right at that notch in your throat. So that's how I like to do it. So you can visualize it. That's what I like to do right there, is put that. And it's an heirloom piece. You'll have that forever unless it gets run over for whatever reason. I still have the very first one that I bought. I'll never part with it. Not ever. Okay, here's the last one. Oh, thank you. Abby says beautiful carvings. They are. They're probably some of the most beautiful. I was so pleased with this. I couldn't even hardly take it. I know that one has a particularly good face. See, there's what's considered a little inclusion, a little bit of brown. It's a little bit bigger, has a little bit wider wingspan. Ah, Wendy, the bees. I know. Aren't they delicious? Let's look at it with the, let's just peek at it with the light. Oh, what? What's that you say? Look at that glow. So pretty. And then in the sunlight, you would get, because it's like the light waves, you'd get it kind of like this. In the sun, you get like that look right there. Tiny hint. So delightful. All right, so you can take a screenshot of that if you want. Let me see, move this so they'll fit. Oh, Wendy, you came at the right time because I just started with these guys. I just started. If you want to look carefully, because they're all a little bit different. You can see this is a little bit fatter, but he's flatter. And they weigh up very similar in gram weight. So that's how we broke it down, because they're sold by gram. All right. Okay, does everyone get a good look? And if you're watching on a replay, go ahead and give me a buzz right here, Greengirlstudios at Yahoo, and we'll send you an invoice. Okay, that's long enough. I think so. Let me slide these over here. Okay, now I have some a little bit nicer price point. If you want one that's small. Or actually, do you want to do the bees, other bees, or should we start with these earrings? What do you think?
Whichever ones you like, we'll still lay out these first.
Okay.
It's the ones that we're wearing, we should show them.
All right, so now if you're interested, I'm going to show these because I have a few of these here. These are some smaller pieces, and they have a more folded down wing shape. I think these are cute. I have a big necklace of some of these. They're much smaller though. Usually, if you've seen my necklaces that I've had in the past, the only ones that are usually left are pretty small. Oh, Debbie says, don't know if you're aware, but Deborah in Hebrew means bee. My given name is Deborah. Hence my love of bees. That's sweet. I didn't know that. You know, I'll have to ask Greg about that because he's been studying Hebrew for the past 5 or 6 years. And this is the back side of this one. Yeah, you can see all the little details of their little legs. Isn't that so charming? And their face. They're pretty much carved in the round. They're just precious and beautiful. Oh, I see Cecilia. Hello, Cecilia. Wendy says, I just bought a car. I shouldn't be buying bees. Okay, so this small one is at lot 602. Well, oh, and I see another. Karen says the price on Etsy is about $145. Well, yeah, I know I don't mark mine that high, but I get a little bit better price, so I can afford to do that. So these are a little bit smaller. Look at this one, it's a little tidy little body. Has a really good color on this one. They're all a little bit different. I wish you guys could, pick these up and hold them because they feel like magic. I let Azalea pick. She got to pick out some stone. Let me see that light on this. That hint of a light. Isn't that pretty? Gosh, I'm so into it. This one's 603. Yeah, these would look good on, I did make a necklace on a very natural color of Ceylon, and I used little blue sapphires, and that made a nice wedding necklace for a gal. That was probably 4 years ago. She saw the bees and was asking, first she wanted it to be like, if I could, like, she wanted to buy it separate. And then she was like, can you just make me the necklace? And I ended up making the necklace. But her wedding was like a beach wedding, so it actually worked out with the blue sapphires and the little bee. Yeah, this is a very cute shape with its little wings tucked in. I love them so. Wendy says, are there 2 smaller ones that would work as earrings? Oh, and Wendy has a big bee that she got last year. Yeah, I have a big bee too that I and I got another one because I couldn't resist. But one of them, I always say I'll give up the one that I had from the year before. I don't know if these would make good earrings. I have another one. They're all a little bit different. That's what makes it hard. And there wasn't many of this size. So this one is lot 604. You've probably seen these too. If you have ever looked at the artist, I don't know how you say her name. I think it's Grain. It looks like grain with two N's and an E at the end. And she uses these, I believe. It looks like them awfully. And some of the carved, because that person has the same passion for carved beads that I do. Yeah, that's probably, yeah, those are not a match. No. But they are, I don't know if that, nah, this batch is not, I don't think, for earring. This one's probably the best of the shapes, I think. How small are the smallest ones? Wendy, I have some in my personal collection that I might have. They probably not match, but they are, in the past, I was only ever able to get the itty bitty tiniest ones. And you know what? I got the best price. So that's why you guys are seeing my prices. And I know somebody mentioned there that they're about $140. The prices I've paid in the past were higher. And I also bought double what I bought last time. So I think I got a price break that was better than I had ever gotten before. So that's why you're looking at it and you're going, because they're usually about $10, $15 more. And I didn't know. I mean, that's the thing. That's the prerogative of the vendor. But, sometimes when you know the guy, if you have a relationship, you get better prices. I mean, that's a given. But anyway. All right, you guys got a chance to observe. Okay, I'm going to put these down. And we will talk about, we have one more. Do we have any more amber? You see any more amber? All right, we're done with the amber talk.
Amber talk.
Although I forgot I even had these. So if there's any interest in these, give me a buzz. And I use these guys in my necklaces. It's been a minute since I've made these, probably 5 or 6 years at least. But if there's any interest, give me a holler and I will weigh them and we'll figure out a price. This is the butterscotch amber. Nancy says a single earring would be cute. Lori says, what is the stone? I got here late. The stone is amber. We're talking amber and we're talking shell. And so I'm going to show you some samples of the shells that I've collected over the years, just a couple. I don't want to take forever tonight. But check this one out. So my friend gave me this, Jen gave me this a couple years ago. And it's a polished turban shell, right? So you can see they scrape the heck out of the top because it doesn't look like this when it's in the ocean. It's basically kind of murky looking and brown. But what a surprise underneath. It's so beautiful. Like all this, so fancy. This is a very, very beautiful shell. I got this one year. And boy, this was not a cheap date. But I'm a collector of the unusual and strange. So I went ahead and was like, I don't care. I want it. I don't care. It has a natural little hole. I was like, how does this little mollusk do its thing? How is this? It was so amazing to me. Apparently it comes out a lot more, but it's really fragile, so they cut it. And that's like, I don't know what that little hole, it's probably a ballast system for this little critter that used to be in here. But look at this patterning on the back. It's really beautiful. So shells come in all kinds of price points. This, I'm kind of embarrassed to say how much I paid for it, but it was like $42. I know, crazy town. But I had visions of putting a wax piece that I would put in shibuichi or silver coming out of it. So I thought, hey, I might be able to make something out of that. And my mom got me this when she was in the Philippines. It's a abalone bowl. They stuck on these weird resin feet. But this material, this is abalone, that these can grow gigantic, so big that you can't even hardly believe it. And the thickness of the shell, let's see how thick it is. It's one of those products that is generally used, like people usually leave this stuff alone as far as like, it's not this part that they're looking for. Even though this is really beautiful, this is actually the byproduct of the filling. Like the abalone itself is what people want, and it's really expensive. Really expensive. I went to Key West with my sister way back when, and we got these fried abalone sandwiches, and they were like in the 90s. It was like $25, and we were like, "Ooh, we're gonna try it," and it was pretty delicious, really good. But all right, let me see what I have over here. Oh, the earrings, they're right by my hand. All right, so I'm going to put these out. Nature is so amazing. Oh, hello, Jeanette. Hello, my friend. Okay, so these earrings are the ones Azalea and I are wearing. I am going to put these on my table at the next show. So these are going to be, right now, I have them at 42. When I take them to the show, I'm going to mark them up to like 50. And I'm pretty sure I can sell them because I sold them before and they all sold. So I got some more for this round. But I thought, hey, to my friends on the live stream, I'm going to put these out at $42 a pair. They're on silver hooks. So that's something good. And you get two. So the good thing about this is, so you say, oh, I don't know if I like it. Well, if you don't, you can always take it off of the earring hook. See that little thing there? You can always take it off. It's pretty easy to take off, and you can just put this on a necklace. So that's really, that's awesome. So if you're into it, you just put in 1A, 2A, and they are all a little bit different. All a little bit. And one other thing that I like about them is that they are pretty light. Like I forget that I'm wearing them. But really beautiful. I saw these and I thought my friend Diane would really like them because she loves carved abalone and mother of pearl, just like I do. So I have, oh wait, I'm out of order here. Here's the other pair. I got them out of order. Here's 3. And it's 3A for 3 abalone. And they're all about the same size, but the colors are a little bit different. A little bit of variety. You can see how this is kind of pale white through here, going up to a really beautiful golden color. My initial thing is I've had these as earrings before, but I did cut off, or didn't cut off. I just took this off and I made pendants in the past, and that worked out. The ones I did that with were massive, though. They were like this. And they were good. People liked them. So this is 6'5". I was going to say 6A down here, 5A. So one of the things, so my brother was a commercial fisherman for many years, and he worked every place from like the Bering Sea to the Caribbean, and he knows all about sea life, farming and fishing. So when we were talking about abalone and the different things he was talking about, I said, you know what, the prices have gone through the roof in the past 10 years. And he said, oh, I can tell you why that is. And I was like, why is that? So I didn't know this, but some of these shells are, especially like, where'd it go? There's some of these shells that you're not allowed to get them anymore. Like you can't just go and free fall, like go into the water, especially in California. Like if you get caught trying to hunt for, like, this is considered like, this is like a red abalone. Like the California, it's endangered there due to pollution and overfishing. So you're not allowed to get and gather any of it. Not that a ton of it was coming from California, but a lot of it that we had access to over the years, they're doing a lot to make sure that there are restrictions in place so that we don't have overfishing and we don't have, what they used to do. And this is what he told me. They used to put out nets that had these huge weights on the bottom, and they would drag the whole floor of the ocean and just drag up everything. And that's how come you got it so cheap 10 years ago, was because they were taking everything. And now you can't do that. So, and that's a good thing. So the unfortunate thing is that you'll probably notice prices on shell and mother of pearl, abalone, all that type of thing are way higher than in times past. But it's kind of a good thing. Well, it's not kind of, it is a good thing, because it's no longer just yanked out of the sea willy-nilly. Now they've got to go through and pick certain types. And actually, like, it's not that they're fishing for the shell itself. This is the other thing that I didn't realize. My brother told me that the shell itself is not what they're going after. They're going after the meat, I guess. I was like, what do you call that? The actual steak. And this is actually a byproduct of that. And in times past, they would use it, if it's not that great, it's not that pretty, you could use it for making pigments, pearl pigments. And that same kind of pigment can be used to use with lake. I know there were some that told me that they use it for pearl cream, but it was, a lot of it was used in makeup. And if it's like oysters, a lot of that stuff was ground up to make gesso for like the calcium carbonate. So it's actually, the byproduct gets used, like everything gets used. So I was happy about that. So here we're gonna look at some white mother of pearl. So mother of pearl, again, it's like a type of shell. So it all comes from different parts of, like, so this is not considered mother of pearl, but the white part of that shell, I don't actually have a sample of that, but I do have some of these that are white mother of pearl. And they've been making buttons and like handles on knives as long as, like, I mean, they have examples from early Victorian times. So I have a few of these. These are kind of hard to, I haven't seen, like, I never make it to this guy's booth before they're all gone. But I managed to get 4. And I kept the price. I could have marked this. If you tried to get it, you'd see that some of these prices are actually fantastic. Why I considered keeping this one. This took all I had, because look at the rainbow on this. Let me get in there so you can see it. It might be too bright. My lights might be showing some of this, and you can't. Look, it's so. You can see the thickness of the shell, like how they used like that thick part to make the head, and it kind of tapers out. Take a good look at its face. Yeah, I mean, some of it's so precious, I tell you. So some of the care, I would say, don't take these into, I know nobody would take this into a pool or take it into somewhere where they're not, you treat it like you would pearls. You treat it nice. You wipe them off so they don't get kind of gross. I didn't notice what you had on there, Wendy. What did you have? Actually, can I get that instead of my big B? Did you get a big B? Let's see. I have to go back and look. All right, 614 on this one. That's the lot. Let me see if I can get tight so you can see the color on that. They're showing white, but they're very luminescent. I picked out, there weren't that many, but some of the other ones had, like, the wings were flat and had a different look. But I picked out the best of the lot. Look at this. Yeah, that's a good one too. This is a little bit thicker. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, they have a really beautiful shine. And this with pearls would be killer. It's like, where's that pearl necklace that I was wearing the other day? Yeah, I would knot that with pearls. I think that would be a good use of these. So I only have the 4 of this style. And this is a little bit longer one. You can see it's very luminous. Very pretty. Yeah, you can see how they're kind of like the shine on it. Very precious and good. You know, that would be good in bead embroidery too. But I think I would put this on a necklace with other pearls. If this were going to be mine, I mean, I have one, and I did not put it with pearls, but I plan to. I have kept a fair few of these guys. So just so y'all know, I'm not going to have these. We're not putting these on the website, and there won't be a listing. So if you're interested, now's the time, because I'm going to go and put these with necklaces for our next upcoming batch of shows for this season. So just keep that in mind. There won't be another chance for this. Okay, let me see what is next. Oh no, I have two more things to show. Okay. You want to show this little lot here of these guys, Azalea? Did you want to make me a card on that, or are we going to wait?
I did not make a card for those.
You going to wait on it till Wednesday? We can wait. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here we have some more of the abalone. Last of it. So I have, how many pieces of this do I have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 pieces of this coming out. And maybe what I'll do is show them all first. What do you think is best? Or one at a time?
With those big ones, you could put them all out at the same time and then talk about show each one individually.
All right, I'm going to do that, what Azalea said. I'm going to put these out, and then I'm going to talk about each one. Gosh, these are so pretty. I can hardly even stand it, especially this one. I really considered keeping that one. I know. Can you even believe it? You like this one, Azalea?
Yeah, that is a cool one.
I know. It's so delicious. Yeah, they're really magical. Especially in this age of everything being like machined.
I love like handmade, hand carved stuff.
I know, me too.
It's the only way to go, man.
Yeah, these would just be, you know what? I have some, but I haven't done anything with. They're beautiful enough to just have it.
Handmade is the best way to spend your money.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
It's always worth. Feels better, has an energy to it.
Yeah, that big one. I think that's the biggest one. Maybe it's the biggest one. Okay, so let's go back down the list and take a look at each one individually. Okay, so this one has a more of a shape where it's like the pyramid shape. I picked them according to color, shape, and luster. Okay, so here's the back. So it has the natural shell on the back. And then here's how you put it together right there. You can check out that beauty. Isn't that gorgeous? Delicious. Okay, that one is $6.19.
The lot number.
Lot $6.19. This one, he's kind of a little bit, like you can see, he has like he's kind of twisting in flight. Like one wing is a little bit up and the other one's a little bit down. Has particularly good pink coloring. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but it has a very beautiful shimmer. I like that, you know, even though it's a natural product, that some would say, hey, is that good that that's being come out of the ocean? I like that people are going to eat the abalone and the mollusks and the oysters, and that the shells have a purpose, you know, because sometimes you have a byproduct that just gets, you know, that they don't do anything with it. Like we got oysters in California, and you should see the mountain of oysters that you drove onto. Like the whole parking lot was made out of crushed oyster shells. I mean, that's good, but I like the idea of things being used completely and there's no waste. This one's $6.20. And it has a really good shimmer on that one too. Check it out. It's like a watercolor. This one's particularly good because I feel like this one has detailing. It's thick enough where they can detail the back. Some of them are too thin to detail, but this one is thick enough. Yeah, and the price, I kept the price very, very fair. If you see these, you have seen them set in gold, and a lot of jewelry artists make earrings and pendants, and they put them with gold. You can see that on the internet. You can check it out. Oh, this was a particularly good one right here. $6.18. This is a particularly good one. Gosh, it's pretty. I love it. Yeah, they feel like magic. I mean, look at that. You joking me right now? I was so happy. I was like, man, I'm so lucky. I get to play with these. I get to look at them. And my job is picking this stuff out. I mean, could you even have more fun? Well, I mean, I'm sure you could if you found other things. But to me, looking at stones, looking at gems, and especially hand-carved things, it's so, so amazing. Bonnie says, I have seen a studio that makes jewelry with those. Stunning. I have too. And it took me years and years to track down the workshop that creates these. And the more I discovered about it, the more I liked it. Everything I found out about it, I was like, I love that story. I love it. Even like that they're paid good. They have top quality materials that they're working with. Their equipment is top of the line. Like the Fordhams they have, it's not like they're in there with sticks and trying to carve with something it's like fine skilled labor right there. I can carve and I know how much time that takes. This one's a particularly lovely one. Yeah, check that out. This one's a nice thick one. Look at his little body. Yeah, they're like opals almost. And this one has enough thickness. Check out the back of this. Look at this. This is natural. Bonnie Francis. Some of the pieces are up to $500. Yeah, and they get it too. I have had my eye on these for years and years. And right now, I mean, they're not easy to find because they don't make, the workshop that makes these does not produce hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. They make, probably a few handfuls, but that's not all they make either. So they make crows, I think they had, what else did they have? Skulls. They had a lot of nice things that I liked. I was very interested. A lot of botanical, natural themes. Debbie says they're beautiful. Yes, they are. I would agree with that statement wholeheartedly. And then this one again, I think this is one of the nicest ones. And that price is fantastic. So if you do make, like, that one gal we were talking about, I don't know if it's a gal actually. I'm assuming just from that they make earrings. I guess that's terrible, huh? To think, hey, Gran Morton, that sounds kind of like, I'm saying it like their name rhymes with Brienne. Brienne. I don't know.
I don't know anything about that. I have no idea who you're actually talking about.
I've sent it to you on Instagram. They make these earrings that are asymmetrical. So each side of the earring has, these are not part of that. They match them up, the earrings, with clouds. And you should see, if you're just go look it up on Instagram and check it out, you'll see. They do a lot of eyes. They have a lot of visual vocabulary that's similar to my work. I collect a lot of eyes. I love them. They also love them. Bees, we have the same things that we like. Clouds, similar. All right, take a good look. Take a good look and do your choosing and choose soon because we're not making listings. So we did have some. I showed a picture on Instagram or maybe it's Facebook, and people were like, "Oh, are these going to be on the website?" Because I told everybody very plainly, these are going to be on the live, and that's it. Because the reason is I want to make jewelry with what doesn't sell. So that's my thoughts on that. And I don't want to have to sit there and go back and forth and take multiple pictures. I just want to get to it.
Have to measure everything.
Yeah, I just want to make jewelry and make it. So what doesn't sell within today or tomorrow is going to go into my collection for finished jewelry. All right. So I have a few more things. We have other things from our Tucson purchases this year, but we've run out of time. And plus, I was like, I'm gonna kind of ration out what I have and make something nice, make nice mixes for y'all. So if you guys got a good look, is that enough? Is that enough of a good look, or should I go in and maybe get the camera a little bit closer?
Ask everybody else.
Hey, did you guys get an?
I can't see.
Wendy says switch it. Azalea will read through this and figure it out. We have StreamYard, so we're streaming to several locations. And what we're going to do is we go down the line and we look at the timestamp from the different who commented first. Okay, so that's how we're going to do it. But if you've had interest in this, our friend claims that they will be retiring soon. But, yeah, because he's kind of old. So that's Nancy said that last one is my favorite. I've already got this picturing how that would look. I would put this one with pearls. That's what I would do. Pearls or something like sapphires or something like, or pearls and sapphires. Maybe a double strand. I'm looking around and saying, what would match that? What would go good with that? So many things. Or even, more mother of pearl. That might be pretty. Silver would look good with that. Gold. Any gold fill? I would think so. There's a lot of colors happening, and I'm looking at on my screen, and my screen is not showing all the rainbow bright of how shimmery this is in real life. So it's delightful. All right, I am going to. Oh, Wendy says opal's thrown in there. Heck yes. Why didn't I think of opals to begin with? What am I thinking about? I don't know. Let me see. Did I get everything? Oh, I think I did. All right, my friends. I'm going to flip this camera around. Gather this black opals. Debbie. Yeah. And Nancy said it has to have a color. It has a colorful heart. Yeah, this one does for sure. They all have. I think this one has, like, it's kind of like it's at a, like the wings are kind of like skewed a little bit, but look at how it has so much. I don't know if you can see it, but it has a lot of color play in there. Yeah, it's some really beautiful work. And just a reminder, we choose from the comments section for our giveaways. So keep that in mind. If you want to share our live stream with your friends, tell folks about it. We would appreciate any kind of sharing that takes place. It helps boost the signal, which gets it so that we have more people. More people means that I have more incentive to hunt a little harder, find more. Nancy says you should keep it and make a necklace with your Basha beads. Ooh, that's something. That's some luxurious talk. Man, that'd be one expensive necklace. This cat got up. He was like, all right, is it time? I think he knows. Yeah, he knows. I know this one's a particular, I think this one has, I don't know if anybody picked 620, but this one is particularly shimmery. Look at that. I was looking at that one before because it has on the bottom half A lot of mother of pearl ones with this type of rainbow mother of pearl don't have the carving on the back side because the shell's too thin, but this one does. It's nice and thick, little thick baby. That one's 620. All right, I'm going to move these out of the way. Actually, I'm going to get this little preparation for this boy cat. Okay, let's scooch this along over here. All right. Kathy says only 6 likes, but 22 watching. Give them some love. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Thank you. This cat's ready to climb on the table. Hey, don't climb on the table, son. No climbing on the table. You have to be patient while I get the packaging squared away. He's like, let me help you with that. Let me help you with that. Look at him. He's like, all right, how can I help with this scenario? Just let me get it going, honey. Look at him, Azoya. He's trying to help by clutching and dragging my hand forward. Look at that cat. He's in it to win it. Here, move back a little bit. He's getting right up in there, Azoya. Look how close he is. He's like right in the thing, you guys. Sorry about that.
Forehead.
Melanie's still waiting on her Gaia dip, Azoya. You're going to have to check on her.
I already
order.
know what's up with that because you had pewter.
Oh, she said I got pewter
Dad's
too.
been taking kind of a minute to do.
Well, he was all right. So if you've been wondering, Greg he's been doing a little more practicing on his band. You guys can go and email him.
You're not gonna get a reply.
I know he's gonna be like, well,
It's gonna get forwarded to me.
it's gonna be forwarded to Azalea.
It's like I make the lists and I fill the orders, but when it comes to that side of the production, I usually, he has
like
somebody come over to help sometimes. Our friend Will, but I'm not usually down there doing it unless he needs me, or Max. But there's only like however many grinding wheels down there, so there's not a whole lot that I can help with.
Look at this. Do you like this?
That's handsome. It's my son.
It's so handsome. All right, my friends, we are going to wrap it up. Put these in the collection. Melanie says, I did have pewter. I have to have pewter. Our pewter has been, thank you for everyone that has been very patient with us while we navigate the storm of orders that have come in since silver's gone through the roof. The upswing is that everybody wants pewter all of a sudden. And that's a good thing. And this happened before when silver jacked up through the roof. Our pewter sales were way up high. And that's when people were like, hey, how come you don't do that much silver anymore? But that's what happens. People don't want to touch it when there is any kind of, when it goes up like this, when it goes crazy. And it takes a few months for it to kind of settle down and everyone gets used to how things are. But for us in that time, we have a lot of orders that are waiting. And what we do is we make them, we don't have any deep stock. So people are like, they assume that I have a huge inventory of beads just sitting behind me and I'm just waiting on it and I'm just hanging on to it. But what happens is this, we make a list as it comes in. And the reason we don't have a huge back stock of things because the pewter costs money. And if we order it and we place them and we make this piece in pewter and we don't sell it, then it's just sitting there. And we not only paid for the metal, but we paid for the labor to have it made. So then it sits. And so that it works for some people that maybe if you had like 30 designs, then you could get away with that. But I have over 700 and you do the math yourself. If you think like, oh, just make a handful, Thornton, just make a handful, one of everything, then you will never be behind. That's 700 designs that has to sit. That's a lot of metal that is taken up And sometimes people won't order a bead for forever. You just doesn't, you never know. Some things we know that will be good sellers, we'll make extras of those because we know we'll be able to. But some things, like, for example, I have this, what is that one called? Is that bird head gal? That one that's like it's called a harpy bead. I have the same gross of that bead as when I started 26 years ago, and I'm still working through them. I bought them because I used to have a casting company that helped me make. Well, they made all my stuff for me. So and I used to have to buy them by the gross. So that gross of beads is now down to like 60 pieces or something. But over that time, that I bought those years and years ago, and I never moved a full gross. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not like, okay, I make weird things. I know it's weird. So it's it's the definition of a niche market. So it's hard to predict what people are going to want. Are people going to want to have a troll bead? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? So it's hard to say. Kathy says, the wait for your pieces is worth every minute. Thank you. Melanie says, Baba Yaga coin. Melanie, you've been waiting a long time for a Baba Yaga. I keep saying, I think I have one. I think I have one. I don't know if I have one because it's been probably a year since I've made bronze coins, since PMC decided to delete that product from their inventory. So I've had to find alternative material. So I found another bronze clay, but we'll see. I bought a bronze clay, or I traded with a gal, and she sent me some of this bronze clay that she'd been sitting on. And she told me, she's like, it's brittle and it's not, you can snap it once it's cooked. So I was like, I don't know, I'm not paying that kind of money. So it's as hard as polymer clay. That to me that's not where the value is. If I'm going to get something that's metal, it better be centered and good, because I'm not going to put my time and money into that. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the metal aspect of our business. I mean, the majority of the price goes to labor. I mean, it's pewter. I mean, the metal itself fluctuates, but the part that's where the money is at is in the labor. I mean, if we were having this stuff made in China or Mexico, they'd be a lot cheaper, as everybody has been telling me for 1,000 years. But I like that we have control, Let me see. Melanie says, I love bronze clay. I use art clay bronze. I know, but it comes in like the littlest, smallest amount. That's like five coins. It's not enough. And, I could cast them using bronze, but that method that I use, or for lost cast waxing with that, it's, oh, Marty, what is it? He is looking, what he was looking at, Nancy? He was looking at this scenario right here. I had it holding like this, and he was like, is that it? Is that all? Because I squeezed it earlier, and he likes me to make sure that I squeeze it really good. That's what he's waiting for, is that last squeeze. That cat, he loves these. He acts like he never gets fed, but y'all can see for yourself that he is not a hungry cat. Well, maybe he's hungry, but he's not, he hasn't missed that many meals. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up, and I am going to get everything ready. We have some stones. We have a lucky dip coming. It's not ready yet. I got to seek and find some more elements so that it's extra juicy. We want it to be extra. So we have a tutorial for Wednesday. Lucky dip is not going to happen on Wednesday, but we'll have a tutorial. All right, my friends. So stay tuned. Not stay tuned, but you know what I mean. We will see y'all on Wednesday. We love you out there, and we hope that y'all stay creative and have a really good week. Okay, good night, my friends.